Hi everyone, and welcome to another video where I spill the tea on a tarot deck. My name is Debbie, and I'm the owner of Spill the Tea Leaf Readings and More. I read tarot cards and tea leaves, and if that is something that interests you, you can contact me at info@spillthetealeaf.com. And you can also go to my website, spillthetealeaf.com, to learn more. But that is not why we're here today. We are here so I can show you the brand new Back to the Future tarot deck. This deck does feature images from all three Back to the Future movies, which is wonderful. And as you can probably see, it's a more cartoony deck. So while it is clearly based on the actors who portrayed the characters, they decided to make it a little bit less realistic, which is a trend that I'm noticing with other decks. And if you've been following my videos, you will have noticed that as well, because we just did Clueless and The Wizard of Oz, which also made everything more cartoony. But here we are with Back to the Future. So let's look at the box, which is where I always start. It's an Insight Editions tarot deck, and they always make these kind of boxes that are really nice. Tells you right there that's written by Joanne Bourne and illustrated by George Caltsoudas. If I butchered your name, I'm sorry. There's usually at least one person whose name I'm always worried about butchering. There's the back. It opens up just like all the other boxes we have from Insight. It has a nice pull tab. Interestingly, though, the fire is only on one side, whereas some decks, or some boxes for decks, they do put something on both sides of it, but only one for this one, which doesn't make it a bad box, just something I noticed. All right, let's look at the cards, starting, of course, with our major arcana cards. Marty as Fool makes perfect sense. I can't imagine why anyone would do anything other than that. Ditto for Doc as the Magician. So these cards feel like they're sticking together already. They're nice and thick, but this is a problem that I have with a lot of these particular pop culture decks from Insight. So already we have Clara from the third movie as the High Priestess, which I love. But when I first opened this deck, I didn't realize it was all three movies, and I was like, wait a second. But I do love the third movie. I love all the movies. You know? Who doesn't? You have Marty's parents, of course, as the Empress and Emperor. The teacher, Strickland, as the Hierophant. It's not a teacher, he's a principal, right? One thing I want to point out is that Jennifer, and I don't know the actress's name, I'm so sorry, the one who portrays her in the first movie, this looks like her, which is an interesting choice in part because for 2/3 of the movies, Elizabeth Shue portrays Jennifer, but the illustration here looks more like the actress who portrayed her for 1/3. And I don't know if the choice was made because she's featured more heavily in the first movie. I mean, she's not really even in the third, the character of Jennifer, except at the very end. And I don't know. It's an interesting choice is all I'm saying. Because I feel like most people think of Elizabeth Shue because she was in 2 of the 3 movies. And I wish I remembered the actress's name who looks just like this, but I'm sorry, I don't. Obvious for the Chariot. Love that for Strength. So here we have the third movie again. Lot from the third movie, and they're very obvious, of course, because it's, you know, Western, whereas the second movie does go into the future, but it also goes back into the past. So some of the images from the first movie and second movie might actually be the same. So that's the second movie. That makes perfect sense. It's the devil. Like, this could be either the first or the second. I assume it's the first, but it could be the second. I love that. This is the second one. See, again, Jennifer. It's movie 1 Jennifer. I'm just saying. Love that Goldie Wilson is in there. And I also appreciate that Hill Valley is the world. And this is very different from what you would usually expect from a world card. But I don't mind it. So those are the major arcana cards. I hope you can see the back of these cards too. Here's a nice little close-up of the flux capacitor. So here is, speaking of the flux capacitor, the suit of flux, which is cups in this deck. lot to say. I'm sorry. I'm just taking in these cards. This is Huey Lewis's character. That's fun. Yeah, see, these cards are just really thick. I keep thinking there's more than one card there, or they stick together. So I apologize. I feel like I'm really struggling with the cards today. Oops, sorry, Marty. Okay. King of Guitars. So guitars are wands, I believe, in this deck. So despite these cards being thick and kind of sticky, Uncle Joey, is this the first movie or the second movie? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Despite these being thick and kind of sticky, I do find that these are usually pretty easy to shuffle overall. So I'm not too worried about that. Oh my goodness. My ability, though, to show you the cards feels like it's just getting worse and worse as I go through these. So I do apologize. All right, so rods are swords in this deck. I do appreciate that they, you know, had a theme, a vision that they went with. This is obviously the second movie, right? In terms of what they did with the suits and changing them up. It's thematic, it makes sense. A lot of Clara. I'm okay with that. I love Clara. And I love her for Doc, but like, it's kind of weird. I don't know. Hoverboard, always a classic. There's just a lot. I feel like there's more from the third movie than the second movie. I say that as we come across something from the second movie. And again, I don't know if it's because the first and second movies overlap a lot more, or if it's something else, but I don't know. I always really liked the third movie, so I can't really complain. It's just an observation. So clocks are obviously our pentacles in this movie. More Goldie Wilson. What a fun character he was. I don't know who that is. Oh well. All right, so those are the cards. I think overall they did a really good job of figuring out what makes sense for each card. So I really appreciate that. High marks for adapting the movies to a tarot deck. So our guidebook is a nice thick one, as you would expect from Insight. They always do a good job. We have, I mean, really, they do the same thing with all these decks, so this is probably getting old for some of you, but they have the table of contents, an introduction where they also explain on here, on this page, what the decks are, or excuse me, what the suits are. Right here is what I was trying to say as I was flipping the page. Each major arcana card gets a page and a full color image that goes with it. Which is always nice. So for minor arcana, you still have the color images. You still have the page of explanation, upright and reverse meanings for all the cards. And then tarot readings. So again, you know, they give you a background on tarot, how to care for your deck, methods for reading tarot. Having trouble flipping the pages of guidebooks today. And then spreads. They do a good job with this too. There's a flux capacitor spread, a Doc's clock tarot spread, which is a long one. I mean, it's basically like a year-long spread, but I appreciate that it's in there. And I think it's the longest one I've seen in a book other than Celtic Cross, and it's longer than that. And the Road Ahead spread. And then we have about the author and about the illustrator and publication information. So yeah, I enjoy this deck. I think they did a good job with it. I'll do a little shuffle. We'll see how it shuffles. How's that? Of course, I can't actually shuffle on camera because, well, I can try. It's not going to shuffle well. Oh, okay. It's kind of shuffling well. I like to do my bridge. It does that pretty well. Ta-da! All right. So, I love that we have a card with Marty on top. Perfect. That's the Back to the Future deck. If you're interested in getting a reading with me with this deck or another, let me know. I also do tea leaf readings. You can contact me at info@spillthetealeaf.com or learn more at my website, spillthetealeaf.com. And let me know what you think about this deck. Leave a review, send me a note. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks, everyone. Bye.